loving memory of Aaliyah, Chris, Keith, Eric, Doug, Scott, Anthony, Gina, and Maurice. Flashback to the summer of 1996. I was home watching MTV Jams, which was my favorite show as a child. A music video begins to play and immediately commands my short-spanning 6-year-old attention. It is futuristic, dark, smooth. The beat kicks in and I am transfixed. I see a girl, and even as a first grader, I am stunned by her beauty. I watch for the rest of the 4.5 some odd minutes in complete awe. This beautiful girl also possesses a beautiful voice, and as soon as it is over, I am left craving more, and by the time the 1 in a Million album dropped in late August, I soon discovered that I was far from the only one. This mysterious girl was Aaliyah Houghton. From the first time I laid eyes and ears on her to this very day, she has been of my greatest inspirations. I sit here nearly the 7th anniversary of the plane crash that took her life, along with 8 others, trying my best to convey just what it is about her that touched so very many lives. Though I realize that mere words simply cannot accomplish that, I will, however, do my best. My goal in writing this is not to sensationalize a tale of a promising young life cut short. This is about celebrity success. My greatest desire is that one who never knew of her, or was only ever vaguely familiar with her name or her face, can understand that there was something truly remarkable and spiritually beautiful about this woman. 7 years after her ascension into heaven, Baby Girl's example continues to shine its light in the lives of all who knew her, both personally and through her art, and loved her. That itself speaks of an impact that only an angel can create. Artistically, Aaliyah was golden. She had an edge and a mystery about her from day one. Debuting at only 15 years old, it is clear to anyone who listens to her first album, Aging Nothing But a Number, that this girl was light years ahead of her peers, both professionally and academically, as she maintained and graduated with a 4.0 in high school. I, myself, me neither, did not discover the 4.0 anyway, did not discover Aaliyah until 2 years later, when she, Timbaland, and Missy forever changed the game of hip-hop and R&B with 1 in a Million. It would be a bit of an understatement to say that I was obsessed with that album. And looking back, it was easy to see why. The 3 of them crafted a flavor and a sound that was never before heard and has never been heard again. Though it is clear that he has done some amazing work recently, it is in my opinion, and that of many others, that Tim's best work was with Aaliyah. Nobody laced the sweet falsetto over stutters, crickets, and cooing babies like Lily. Her game was sweet as ever, but those tracks knock hard. By 2001, after a 5-year gap between studio albums, during which she focused on her film career, Aaliyah was back, and everyone could sense that something huge on the horizon. Sadly, we had no idea that there was tragedy not further triumph ahead. I remember when promotion began for her self-titled 3rd album, sometimes affectionately referred to by fans as the Red Album, because of the color scheme of the packaging. I was nearly 12 years old. We Need a Resolution hit air and video waves, and there I was again, beholding a beautiful, dark, futuristic vision as I rocked to the groove of my familiar Tim and Lily. We were in New York City for my cousin's wedding, which luckily for me happened to coincide with the release of the album. I eagerly listened to her spots on Angie Martinez's Hot 5 at 4, and of course from Mr. Flex's legendary Top 8 at 8, during which she previewed tracks from the album. The first track that she played was Rock the Boat. What an appropriate track. Title, Because I Was Floating. It was gorgeous, lush, chill, sexy, and smooth. It was trademark Leah, and a little more grown up, but still as classy as ever. The steamy lyrics somewhat eluded my innocence as I danced into my abuela's living room, chirping, rock the boat, rock the middle, Jesus. As an adult, I must pause for a second and address the sheer sexiness of that song. Aaliyah had undeniable sex appeal. She was gorgeous, she was an incredible dancer, and of course, that mystique. However, she was never raunchy or vulgar. She wasn't a trashy dresser. Her dance routines were works of art rather than pornographic floor shows. And she kept her private life private. By this point, an over-year-long relationship with Damon Dash, private. Rock the Boat is one of those songs that embodies true sexiness. It's playful, it's suggestive, but it approaches intimacy with class and swagger. I like this. Sorry. Rather than being crude and dirty, I left New York City nearly delirious with excitement about buying the new album. And as soon as we landed in Florida, this is the first thing I did and the last time I would ever have such a chance.
She went in.
No, I don't. I mean, if you guys don't mind, this is like
It's awesome.
it's serious.
It's really
I feel like Sunday morning, August 26, 2008, 2001. You want me to? Do I need to project some more? Okay. I awoke, sat up, thought about getting something to eat. My father appeared in my doorway. He looked as though he had been crying. I will never forget the words he said. I don't want you to be upset. But Aaliyah was killed in a plane crash last night. I felt as though I had been hit in the stomach with a truck. The words swirled around in my head, and I wilted and cried. I didn't have much experience with them, so I childishly tried to explain it all away by repeating that it wasn't true. Why would you say that, Dad? Why would you lie like that? What a terrible joke to play. I turned on the TV, and news was everywhere. She was killed while returning from filming the music video for Rock and Roll. Her episode of MTV's Diary was playing that I had watched just a week earlier and enjoyed her humor, grace, and kindness. I watched in shock and cried as her family buried their sweet baby girl on August 31st. Part of my childhood was buried with her. Weeks later, I would be shaken to my core yet again in the events of 9/11. My 12th birthday followed 6 days later, but in many ways I felt as though I was 40. But it's not the sadness I dwell on. It is the joy, and if Aaliyah's life could be summed up in one word, that would be, as I beheld the blossoming of Aaliyah's career through a child's eyes, watched interviews, read stories, something became very apparent to me. Never did I hear one disparaging word about her. Those who knew her and worked closely with her had all been deeply changed by having known her, and it is obvious, even to the fan who never knew her personally. More than successful, talented, or beautiful, she was truly happy, positive, and loving girl. It is unfortunately true that the deceased tend to be, this is supposed to be idolized,
yeah.
But that was never the case with Aaliyah. Anyone who had followed her career knows well that she was as loved and praised while she was living, and she did. On top of the music, the movies, the magazine covers, the awards, and the appearances, Aaliyah loved her life, her family, her friends, her fans, I'm throwing it in there, and had tremendous faith in God. It was by this example of faith, gratitude, and love that she continues to inspire countless others, just the way she has inspired me. AQ1.
That was Queenie?
Yes.
Queenie wrote that?
Oh.
She's amazing.
She's always
Wow.